Okay, hello everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you all are doing well. We're going to get started. Okay, I call this meeting to order at 9:05 a.m. and we'll start with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of the Fernandivio-Tantaviam Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge. Honors their elders, past and present, the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandivio-Tantaviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. Now, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance if you are able. Wonderful. We'll now move to the roll call with the Attorney General.
Senator Bovnagry, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Awais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran, Senator Olgan. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion? Senator Tybee?
I move to approve today's agenda of April 8th.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, we'll now move into a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia?
I move to approve the minutes for last meeting, March 25, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Tybee, thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes from March 25th, 2024, please raise your hand. And the vote passes unanimously. Okay, we will skip past special presentation as we do not have one, and we'll move on to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Is anyone here for open forum?
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you all. I wanted to come over this morning and thank all of you, Associated students, and especially your staff for an absolutely fabulous Big Show. Big Show is back. Wow. This past week, we had a celebration for former President Jolene Kester here on the campus. And some of you might know that the history is that Big Show started under her. One of the first things that she was asked to do when she arrived here at Cal State Northridge was to create an opportunity for students to have a very large concert, which of course is always a challenge when you don't have a big, venue to do that in. And so through really the imagination and creativity and resources of AS over all of these years, we've been able to host this wonderful experience for our students. last couple of big shows have not necessarily been so big, but this was a big, big show and really felt like it. And it was just spectacular seeing the students there celebrating and interacting with each other and enjoying good music and having a good and safe time. And so I just wanted to get up and come over and shout out AS and say thank you so very much. And I hope that this continues the tradition that has been here for all these many years. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your support. We couldn't do it without you. Is anyone else here for open forum? Awesome.
I'm gonna also follow suit in saying thank you. Just give me a second here. All right. Well, thank you all so much for everything. I have a list. So hopefully I don't hit my 3-minute mark today. But there are numerous people I want to say thank you to for helping put on a very successful big show. In terms of numbers, the final number for ticket sales was 4,149 tickets that were sold, which is quite a few more than last year. So we're very excited that that big show is back. And thank you, Dr. Watkins, for the kind words. It was truly awesome to see a great show. In terms of people that I personally would like to thank, I would like to thank all of our productions and sustainability team. So Milana, Kaylee, Era, Janice, Kayla, Jacob, Daniel, May, Kevin, and Evan, and Nicole. I want to thank Denise and Madeline from our student leadership team. I want to thank Johnny from our risk management team. I want to thank our marketing team, Ariana, Daniel, Brian, Alyssa, Michaela, and Sharon, who are all physically there. I want to thank John and Cindy from our HR team, Lena from the Children's Center, Calvin and Pat from the IT team, Hannah from admin, Dustin, Blad, and Joyce from sport clubs, Lionel, Jenny, Terry, and Danny from accounting, David and Joey from outdoor adventures, John and Tony from the ticket office, who helped sell basically 2,000 of those tickets, and their staff entirely. So special shout out to them. Special shout out to Tim for being up in the command center on Saturday. I'm sure that was a whirlwind of lots of different things. And I also want to thank a lot of our campus partners. So we had people who were volunteering from the show from UCS, from SOAR, from the Career Center, from Housing, from the USU as well. We had 2 student volunteers who were RTM majors, so I want to give shout out to them. Special shout out to Daniela Cross, who's a former AS employee who came back to come volunteer. Chris Jensen, specifically from the USU, acted as our stage manager for the event. So he did a lot of moving pieces. So special shout out to Chris. And then I want to give a shout out as well to PPM and their team, specifically Tom, Manny, and Hector, as well as their admin team for getting everything ready with the grounds. On the DPS side for parking, I want to thank Emmanuel and his team. From the police services side, so the deputy chief, Sergeant Carrillo, their admin team and their command team that were there, and all the officers that were present. And then other people that I want to thank as well, specifically Dr. Watkins for the support, Patrick and Kevin for their support and guidance, all of our other campus partners that were involved in talking to all the deans for the academic buildings, as well as the MIC for space reservations and everything like that. And finally, I want to thank all of you for all the support that you have given us for Big Show this year, as well as all of our other events. So please give yourselves a round of applause as our student leadership team, because you all helped put on a great event. That's it in terms of Big Show. Looking to the future though, we have a farmer's market tomorrow. It's the elections kickoff farmer's market, so I hope to see all of you there at some capacity. And then looking forward to the following week as well. We're gonna have our spring clean farmer's market, as well as, so not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we will have our big comedy event in the Plaza del Sol Performance Hall here in the USU. And that's from 7 to roughly 8:15, 8:30. We're bringing Justina Valentina and Conceited from Wild and Out Live will be coming to campus to do some awesome, fun stuff. So that's it for me. I don't know if I went over time, but sorry if I did. And just want to say thank you all once again.
Thank you so much. Is anyone else here for open forum? Oh. Okay, if no one else is here for open forum, we will move to reports, beginning with the president's report. Okay, so she said, hello, everyone. I hope you all had a restful weekend or maybe enjoyed Mr. Aoki. I want to give a few shout outs today. First of all, a huge thank you to our productions team for putting on the most amazing Big Show this weekend. It was truly incredible, and it was evident that our students were absolutely obsessed, to say the least. I also want to thank the marketing team for their dedication to this event. From before any posts came out, they were working very hard on all things marketing. Everything looked amazing, and even during the show, and I can't wait to see all the videos and photos. Also, a big shout out to the staff who were there on Saturday helping out. We also had Diversity and Inclusion Week this past week, and I want to thank Allie and her committee for all the time and effort that went into that week. It was remarkable. So thank you again, Allie. I actually wrote my report on the plane, as Josie is probably calling this meeting to order. I'm heading to Washington, D.C. for the week. I can't wait to share what I learned on this trip with all of you next week. The guy next to me is pretty cool, except he is wearing a USC sweatshirt because his son is going to USC and we don't stand that. Bruins all the way, especially for Mr. Attorney General. Although I'm not on campus, you can still reach me via email/phone. With the end of the semester nearing, I want to remind you all to get your referrals in very soon, so you have time to work on them in committee. Even if your idea is so extreme, just submit it. It may lay the foundation for something greater in the future. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Are there any questions on the president's report? Yes. Permission granted. Thank you. Okay. There are no questions on the president's report. We'll move to mine. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. As you can tell, Paige is not here, so I'm chairing Senate today. I'm not feeling very well, so bear with me if I take a little bit of time to figure things out. But just want to reiterate everything Paige said. Congratulations, productions, on an incredibly successful Big Show. Congratulations. And last week, we finished the first round of interviews for the Vice Provost Search Committee, which was really wonderful. It was great to hear everything that all the candidates had done in their past and how they were excited to possibly come to CSUN. We are also working on the end of the year celebration. That committee is meeting this week. And then if you didn't get your invitation, let us know so you can make sure that you get it. Save the date for May 1st. It's a super exciting event. Other than that, we are working through IRA deliberations, which is exciting, and pretty much finishing up everything for the year. Transition packets will be sent out today for Senate, so make sure you look at those and start working on them. And then also just want to reiterate what Paige mentioned, to send in any last minute referrals that you want to get in. Even if you don't have the time to fully finish them, it will still lay a good foundation for next year, and you can put it in your transition packet, as well as the chairs of the committee can put them in their transition packets. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a lot on the agenda today, so please make sure you're reading through all the items on there and that we're making motions so we can work through our business efficiently. But other than that, thank you. Are there any questions on my report? No? Okay, then we will move to the Chief of Staff's report.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Eclipse Day. I have extra glasses if y'all want to watch at 11. So super fun can't wait to see it. So a few weeks ago, a few of us were in New York competing for MUN. And I'm happy to announce that we came back with outstanding delegation and honorable mention for CSUN. So super excited to say that the MUN organization on campus is really awesome, and it's going to continue on for next semester. So if you're interested, please let me know. So we have a few events in progress right now. The first gen event that we're working alongside with Senator Lorena, as well as myself and a few other people that are working with this. We also have the AS Grad Bash that's happening at the end of this month. So if you would like to get involved, please let me know. Last week, our chair of DEI had a very successful DEI week. So super happy that she was able to get that accomplished. Of course, we have, as others have mentioned, Big Show was super awesome. I was unfortunately unable to go, but I saw the pictures and I saw how much fun everyone was having. So unfortunate that I couldn't go. But this week we have our elections week. It's super exciting finally here. I know that our chair of elections and assistant chair of elections are super excited. So just for some dates of reference, tomorrow we have our kickoff. It's for the farmers market. Then on the 10th, we have the ice cream and vote that they have put on for us, as well as the 11th, which is taking In-N-Out. So hopefully you guys get a chance to stop by and just support your fellow colleagues. We also have our assistant chair of finance has been contributing and working to some discussions for supplemental requests, as well as collaborating with the AS accounting to address student club inquiries. Our chair personnel is working on headshots for graduating students. So those who have yet to contact her, or if you have yet to be contacted by her, please feel free to reach out. But she will be reaching out to those who are graduating this week as well. So our assistant chair of elections is obviously preparing for elections week. And they'd like to give a huge shout out to Productions and James for working on this with them. So thank you so much. They're working on food vouchers for the truck that's happening for tomorrow for the kickoff event. So again, if you have a chance to stop by, it's super awesome to support. Our Chief Justice is finalizing edits for the Judicial Court Code and hopes to go over it tomorrow in Internal Affairs. They also have 3 clubs that are coming to the Judicial Court this week. So she's looking forward to letting them come in and presenting for the overall club, that's getting established. And then obviously our president is out in Washington. Can't wait to hear back from the edits that are happening and advocating that she's doing for students over there. Our chair of legislative affairs has been supporting external affairs to improve the GMOS referral, and I know she's super passionate about that as well. So overall, that's what we have for cabinet. We have also sent out transition packets for cabinet, so that they'll be working on those this entire month, and I can't wait to see them all. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Woohoo. Are there any questions on the Chief of Staff's report? Okay, we will move on to the Chair of Finance.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Solar Eclipse Day. I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that everyone did enjoy their weekend. And if you attended Big Show, I hope you enjoyed that as well. Shout out to all the collaborators that work towards that large event. It's such a big and celebratory event, and it's just such a monument to our AS and all of our other organizations that are willing to help and provide and work together. I'll start by sharing the account balances today. Within STAR, we have $144,525. Within unassigned contingency, we have $675,055. Clubs and orgs has $13,450. The Phil Fund has $15,000, and Clubs and Orgs Travel has $264. I'm expecting for us to exhaust our Clubs and Orgs Travel Fund soon. So that's a really great thing for our Clubs and Orgs to be utilizing this fund and to be taking advantage of the leadership opportunities that they have. Today we're in Senate, we're going to be going over the annual budget. Hopefully we can vote on this. I know this has been a bit stalled for the past 2 or 3 weeks, one because of like holidays and then also because of a lack of quorum. But I hope that today we're able to vote on it on the annual budget along with the Code on Finance. Additionally, Finance Committee resumes today, same thing with quorum and having a stall there too. But we're meeting again today at Sustainability at 12 p.m. And this is open to everyone if you'd like to join. And that's about all I have to report at this time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Chair of Finance's report? Okay, oh, yes,
Permission to be recognized.
permission granted, thank you. Okay, we will move on to the Attorney General's report.
All right, good morning, everyone. I've got a few updates for you. First of all, as Josie mentioned with the transition packets, as we're going to be nearing the end of the semester, it's really important that if we want to continue some of our priorities or our unfinished goals, that we put those into our transition packets, and also any kind of advice that you have for the incoming people who are going to be taking your place. if someone takes your place. And so you just put all that into the transition packet, send it over. I'll give you all the information on that, but it's going to be really helpful in making sure that AS can continue its momentum instead of having to start fresh every year. Also, our committees have been very productive. I want to give a special shout out to Senator Kaddish for the work he's done in external last week. I'll let him go more in depth during his report on what we did, but we had a very fun research expedition that will hopefully be very fruitful as well. And then I've been having some great collaboration with Senator Toledo Carranza on increasing shade at the shuttle stop. We've already had one meeting with someone at Parking and Transportation, and then we've got another meeting today. So hopefully we'll see some changes at the shuttle stop where there will be needed shade and seating for people who are waiting there. And my last update, I hope there isn't anything already planned for this day, but as part of the Northridge East Neighborhood Council, I'm the co-chair of the beautification committee there, and we've planned a cleanup finally for April 28th. That's a Sunday. It'll be from 9:30 to around 1. And what we're going to be doing is right on Halsted and also on Lindley, right around the campus and where student housing is. We're going to be pulling out weeds, cleaning up debris, any trash, all that, and try to make that street look as nice as possible. So if you want to come join us, please definitely do. It'll be a good thing for CSUN. It'll make the streets look a little nicer. And so I hope I'll see you there April 28th. And that's the end of my report.
Wonderful. Are there any questions on the Attorney General's report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to standing committee reports, starting with External Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. So last week, what we did for external affairs instead of our normal official meeting is our committee members went to GMO's to both try the food ourselves and then survey the students eating. So shout out to our Attorney General for making a bunch of surveys where we just tallied responses to a bunch of questions. So we will compile our findings, but we also have plans for sometime during a weekend. We will be planning a field trip to UCLA to compare the dining halls. So if anyone would like to join us, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, that is it for my report.
Wonderful. Are there any questions on the External Affairs report? Seeing none, we'll move on to Internal Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Internal Affairs is ready to begin our trial period for allowing free Scantrons in the AS office. We have the Scantrons on hand now and we'll be selecting our release date tomorrow. And then lastly, within the committee, Chief of Justice Joshua is working with the committee in overhauling the judicial court code to reflect the recently changed chartering process. And I have more to my report regarding the different motions from the committee, but I'll leave it there to see first if there's any questions or comments. Okay. So we have 3 currently. One is the Ray Senate stipend recommendation, the Senate and Chair stipends code as amended, and the Chair of Finance code as amended. So I'll talk about 1 and 2 first, which is about the stipends. And the recommendation that we have laid out is a formal statement of what we have deliberated about in our internal affairs meetings. To quickly summarize, senators will be allocated 2 additional stipends in a year. The committee found that there are 2 Senate meetings not under the overall stipend schedule and no additional reward for mandatory AS events. So 1 in the beginning of fall and 1 in the beginning of spring. And it's important to note that stipends exist as a way of awarding student leaders for their time served in associate students, and it serves as a way to allow Senate positions to be accessible for students of lower economic backgrounds, and this amendment will continue to pursue this mission. So that's what I have now regarding stipends, and I'll leave it there, and then I have more comments about the Chair of Finance code.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I just want to remind everyone that these are already in motion, so I will just go straight into discussion. And we'll start with the first one, which is to approve the AS recommendation, raise Senate stipends. Is there any discussion on the motion? No? No discussion? Well, I'll make a comment. I'm very happy that we're doing this. And I have always been a fan of the fact that we're able to compensate senators, like you said. So it makes it more economically equitable, so that people who need the support are able to still participate in Senate. I think it's really wonderful that we're able to do this and add some more stipends in. Is there any other discussion? Yes.
If I didn't hear wrong, is it like one stipend starting the fall semester once you start Senate meetings, and then the other one that will be at the end of the year, is that right?
Yes, so I don't know the exact number of stipends, but I believe it's 7 or 8 per semester. Now that will go up 1 each semester. So we're adding an extra for each semester, or 2 per term, technically.
I also wanted to comment on the meetings that we also had to do during the summer. I don't know if that's compensated or that's been already in mind.
Yeah, I believe that is kind of what this is trying to tackle, but I'll turn to Senator Tybee for that.
Yes, exactly what Josie said. This is what this aims to tackle, and to also clarify, it's not direct compensation, but an award for the time that the senators have allocated. And to what Josie was saying earlier, currently it's 7 a semester totaling to 14, and with this change, it's 8 a semester totaling to 16. One of which in the spring will include the chairs and the vice chairs, because we'll be having that final committee meeting. That's not under a stipend schedule.
Thank you so much. I also want to comment that the Personnel Board has already approved this. So they're aware of the increase in compensation, and it's been approved by the board. Are there any other comments or questions? Oh, yes.
So ideally for this semester as well, for both senators who are at term in the fall and in the spring, and the same notion applies, that we want to make sure that senators are awarded for their time spent.
Are there any questions? Any other questions? Or comments? Okay, if not, we'll move right into a vote. All those in favor of approving the recommendation from Internal Affairs to raise Senate stipends, please raise your hand. Okay, that passes unanimously. Wonderful, thank you. Good job, Internal Affairs. We'll now move to the second motion out of committee. Oh, I see. It's 2. Okay, so no more comments. Is there any discussion on the second motion out of committee?
To clarify, this is just making the change in the code. The other one was a written recommendation.
Any other discussion, questions, comments? Okay, then we'll move into a vote. All those in favor to approve the Senate and Chair Stipends Code as amended, please raise your hand. Great, this passes unanimously. Now we'll move to the third motion out of committee, to approve the Chair of Finance Code as amended. Is there any discussion? Senator Tybee.
Yeah, so this adds some sections which allow students to easily locate the chair's responsibilities within an external document of being the Code of Finance. So we opted to refer to sections instead of mirroring the exact Code on Finance language to avoid any discrepancies that might happen in the future.
Thank you for that clarification. Are there any questions or oh, yes, Chair of Finance.
Yeah, and Nick has been like really generous about involving both Leslie, the Assistant Chair of Finance, and I into the process. So yeah, I'll just confirm that the code, what it does, it allows students to kind of like access the code on finance and like the chair's positions outside of the code itself, and they can reference it on our wiki page, which is nice and accessible.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, then we'll move right into a vote. All those in favor of approving the Chair of Finance Code as amended, please raise your hand. Wonderful, that passes unanimously. Okay, great job, Internal Affairs. I'm glad we could get those passed after a few weeks of not being able to. We'll now move on to University Affairs.
But for University Affairs last week, we decided to have an unofficial meeting, so to speak. We tried organizing our meeting in kind of a different way, where there was just small groups discussing kind of what we need to do by the end of the year, and then they reported back on it. There really wasn't much new stuff to add because we haven't had anything assigned recently. So I'd say everything's going well.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Are there any questions on the University Affairs report? Okay, if not, we will move on to the AS Executive Director's report, which I will read. And he's also watching the live stream right now, so he's going to listen to me read this. He said, "Good morning, Senate. Happy Solar Eclipse Day. Today, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the productions team and all of the staff that volunteered this weekend to bring you Big Show 2024. A total of 4,122 tickets were sold and just over 3,200 passed through the gates on Saturday. Besides commencement, which is just around the corner, Big Show is the largest student program that happens on campus. It takes a lot of coordination and planning to execute a program like Big Show, and James and the productions team did just that. Bravo and a cake toss. I hope those that attended enjoyed and made some great memories. Have an outstanding week and don't forget to vote in the elections. Be well and please let me know if there's anything that you need assistance with. Very best, Patrick." Thank you, Patrick. Are there any questions on the Executive Director's report? No? Okay, we'll move on to the University Advisor report with Asia Butler.
Good morning. So the MIC is working on planning for our last two events, our Clubs and Orgs Award Ceremony, which is on Wednesday, April 24th, and our Greek graduation, which is on Monday, May 6th. The last thing is we do have, I think, maybe 10 to 15, I have to double check with Alyssa, new clubs who are waiting for AS charter. So they are university recognized, but because they don't have the AS charter, they're not eligible to seek AS funding. So hoping that we can get them chartered before this semester ends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions on the University Advisor's report? If not, we'll move on to our Faculty Advisor with Dr. Ward.
Yay. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a great week and weekend. As today, I think the big thing is, of course, the eclipse. And so I decided to focus on the issue of relevance as we look at for all of what we do here in the university, as well as what you all, of course, do here. So with the path of totality, I actually took notes on the idea that millions of people are involved in this. The relevance to us as a university actually touches every single course and every single class and every single interaction that you have. It's amazing when you look at the news, the number of families that are traveling, not only to get to a specific place or location, but also all over the world. And I really thought of this as an important thing because a lot of times within the university, we don't even understand how the courses that we take, the classes that are recommended, or the things that have been approved for our educational experience really relate. And it takes something like a celestial event of today to really bring that all together. And it's been amazing to me of thinking of course, the economic impact of all of this, but how that connects with families, our communities, and each other. All those behaviors that we're looking at, from little things like animals, how are our animals in our homes and in the woods and in nature going to react to this? Why are we learning about biological social sciences? And then, of course, the idea that things like the math, the science, the physics, all behind this as a big event is so important to us. But it really made me stop and think that in the university, a lot of times we don't think of how we all connect to each other. And it took a huge event like this to bring that all about. So I hope that not only are you thinking about it, but you'll actually bring it up, and hopefully your instructors will give you that ultimate connection of how what we're doing today and where the world, the universe is going, and how that makes us all part of it. So again, welcome to a new week and a new event.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ward. Are there any questions on our faculty advisors report? Okay, if not, again, thank you. We always really appreciate your reports. Now we'll move into unfinished business. And before we do this, I just want to make a little comment and remind everyone of our computer policy. I'm saying this because we have so much on the agenda to approve right now that the only thing you should be looking at on your computer is either your notes or your agenda. We shouldn't be typing, emailing, doing work, things like that. So please, if we could really pay attention for these motions. On that note, we'll move into unfinished business, starting with item A, to approve the ballot policy of ballot handling for the AS elections 2024. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Saravia?
I move to approve the policy of ballot handling for AS elections 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Tybee, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? No? Okay, well, again, they're not here, but thank you for the election, or thank you to the elections team for their hard work. And I didn't mention earlier, I sent out the elections tabling sign up. If you're not running in the election and you have some free time this week and you would like to support the elections team by helping them table at their info stations, please sign up for that. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Okay, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the policy for ballot handling for the AS elections 2024, please raise your hand. Beautiful. This motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to item B. This is a big one. To approve the 2024-2025 Associated Students Annual Budget. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Tybee?
I move to approve the 2024-2025 Associate Students Annual Budget.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Chair of Finance?
Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be dealing with this item today. Like, finance has worked really hard on this. This was also the same year we kind of rolled back the mandatory budget hearings, and we just did the internal processing of it. So I'm really proud of Finance Committee and their ability to process it and then have really effective discussion regarding like our ethical policy and like how we want to approach funding this year. So really excited to get into it. And if you have any questions about the budget, feel free to ask. That's why Nick and I are here. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Senator Kaddish?
I'm not sure that the links worked on the email agenda.
Okay, is that the April 8th meeting agenda email? Let's see. I see. Yeah, it looks like on the April 8th agenda, it does not work. but it has been sent out a few times beforehand. So let me go back to previous agendas to see if those ones work. Yes, Senator Saravia.
I went all the way back to the Senate meeting from March 11 and the link works there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
I just also sent the link out underneath the agenda thread as well.
Thank you, Senator Saravia, and thank you, Chair of Finance Tran. Also, it was just sent out, but the email from March 6th works as well. I also just want to second everything Chair of Finance Tran said. This budget takes so long to finalize, and there's so much work that goes into this. And it's very behind the scenes, so it's not always seen by general AS, but really, this budget keeps our organization going. So thank you so much, Chair of Finance Tran and Assistant Chair of Finance. Yeah, there's so much work that goes into this, and you are much appreciated. Since those links work and you should have access to them, or you've had access to the budget for the past month now, we'll get this going. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Okay, if not, we will move back into a vote. I lost my agenda. All those in favor of approving the annual budget, please raise your hand. Great, the motion passes unanimously. Great job, finance team. Congratulations. Okay, we'll now move on to our next item, which is to approve the 2024-2025 Associated Students Code on Finance. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Tybee?
I move to approve the 2024-2025 Associate Students Code on Finance.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Chair of Finance?
Yeah, so for the Code on Finance, one of the big changes that we made was that, aside from just updating the years and small things like that, the big thing that we did was we changed the funding allocations, and the maximums and minimums for certain items. So before, if it's like a student wants to have a guest speaker, they can only have a certain number of guest speakers for a certain maximum amount of dollars. And instead of doing that, we instead just decided on making a pool for it, so they could just access, they could have like 10 guest speakers if they want, but the maximum we can give for any one guest speaker is 400, and then they have a pool amount. So if they do want to pay some guest speakers a lot or a little, the club has more flexibility to do so within their board. So it's still VPN friendly, and it just gives students more, I guess, autonomy in the decisions of their club board.
Thank you so much. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Senator Tybee?
And also just to add, and as a reminder, I serve on the committee as the Senate liaison, but I observed many clubs entering both in last semester and the year before when I was a committee member, but they would request for a certain amount of speakers, but it would be, we can only fund 4 maximums. So if they asked for, let's say, 8 guest speakers, but at $50 each, then we'd only be able to fund 4 of them, which doesn't make so much sense because, I mean, it's much less than the total 400 that another club might ask for. And to also add that we did change the pool to include workshop supplies as a pool because it also fell under the same limitation, but with 3 500 max. So that's another point to add.
Thank you for that clarification. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
So for speakers, it will still be like $400 maximum, or would it be like, even if they choose to have 8 speakers, like, for example, it will be 400 for each speaker, or I don't know.
Currently, what would be approved is still the same 1,600 max, with the limitation of 400 max per individual speaker. But you can break that 1,600 down with different amounts per speaker. It's just 1,600 is the max.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Beautiful. We'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the 2024-2025 Associated Students Code on Finance, please raise your hand. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. Okay, now we will move into Finance Committee recommendations. To allocate $3,000 from unassigned contingency for tables, chairs, and tent rentals to Animation League of Northridge for an Artist Alley event. Sounds so fun. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Sarabia?
I move to approve the allocation of $3,000 from unassigned contingency to the Animation League of Northridge for an Artist Alley event to purchase tables, chairs, and tent rentals.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Chavez, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Fair Finance Tran?
Yep, so the $3,000 is the maximum for any one-day given event for any student club and org. So this club is requesting $3,000 for like equipment and stuff to put on this event. All the supplies and printing costs will be on them. Thank you.
Thank you. This event sounds really fun, so I'm glad we're hopefully able to support it. Is there any other discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of allocating $3,000 from unassigned contingency for tables, chairs, and tent rentals to Animation League of Northridge for an Artist Alley event, please raise your hand. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Now we will move on to item E, which is to enter the Committee of the Whole. Is there a motion? Senator Sarabia?
I move to enter Committee of the Whole.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Senator Scher? Is there any discussion on the motion? Wonderful. We'll move into a vote. All those in favor of entering Committee of the Whole, please raise your hand. Beautiful. The motion passes unanimously, and we are now in Committee of the Whole. We'll start with the first item, which is a supplemental funding request from the AS Executive Cabinet. The Cabinet is seeking $2,700 in funding for a first-gen mixer that will provide first-generation students the opportunity to meet other first-generation students, access campus resources, and hear from alumni who were also first-gen students. The event will be held in collaboration with EOP and the Alumni Association. Relevant clubs and organizations will also be invited to table at the event. This will be pulled from unassigned contingency. Is there a motion? Senator Sarabia?
I move to approve the allocation of $2,700 from unassigned contingency to fund the first generation mixer.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Chief of Staff Ryan?
Well, this first generation mixture is something that Senator Lorena and I have been working on. So thank you for those who have been in support with us and walking alongside with us during this planning process. We are trying to finalize details because this is already an event coming very close. It'll be taking place April 22nd in the Northridge Center from 1 to 5 o'clock. So please feel free to stop by, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you for that clarification, or that overview. Is there any other discussion on the motion? I'll make a quick comment. I'm really excited for this event. I'm really proud of Chief of Staff Ryan and the others that are working on this event for coming up with this idea and working really hard on it. It's very exciting, and I'm glad we are also able to collaborate with some other campus partners. So you should all attend the event, and we'll have some more details next week. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Yes, Senator Sarabia.
I personally really appreciate everything that you guys are doing for the first generation students. I do know that it's really hard to get recognized without being part of like certain programs and having certain connections. It's really difficult. And then you're just walking around campus and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm a first generation student. And then you find someone else that is a first generation student that isn't also involved in EOP or anything like that. So it's really difficult to connect with people just like you. And I feel like this event is really helpful and really beneficial towards not only students like me, but students that are coming in as first generation students. I really appreciate everything that you're doing, Chief of Staff Ryan and Senator Toledo Carranza.
Thank you so much. I second all of that. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Beautiful. We'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the $2,700 in funding for the first gen mixer, please raise your hand. Beautiful. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to our second supplemental funding request, which is also from the Executive Cabinet. They are seeking $2,670 in funding for AS Grad Bash, which will be a celebration of the 2024 graduates. The event will be held at the Farmers Market and will include opportunities for students to meet the Alumni Association chapters. The event will also feature a photo booth for photo keepsakes, DIY graduation cap decoration station, that's a mouthful, and an opportunity for graduates to enter a raffle. This is also pulling from unassigned contingency. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Sarabia?
I move to approve the allocation of $2,670 from unassigned contingency to fund AS Grad Bash.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Chavez, thank you. We'll now move into the discussion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Chief of Staff Ryan.
So this event is something that came to us this semester to basically celebrate all graduating students for this year. And hopefully this is something that gets continued on for the coming years. We recognize that we want something that AS establishes to celebrate graduating students. And although we have Grad Fest, it's not the same as like a celebratory, event. It's more like getting your stuff done and buying packages and photos and a whole bunch of other stuff. And this is more like a celebration that AS wants to put on. So hopefully this gets to continue, but I would also really greatly appreciate all your support, and thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chief of Staff Ryan. Again, I applaud you for your efforts on this. It's much appreciated. And yeah, I think this is a wonderful event. We're always trying to support the university in increasing graduation rates. So anything that hypes up graduating, makes it more fun, makes people want to push a little bit harder towards it is a good event, and I'm excited for it. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Beautiful. We'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of, oh, I'm so sorry. Senator Toledo Carranza.
Just wanted to comment that I really appreciate this. I didn't know how like the celebration for grads actually worked until my friends actually went to the student store and did all of the stuff, and they just got their stuff and just go. I really feel like, just like first gen, we need to celebrate our students.
Yes, I second that. Graduating is not easy, so we should make it fun. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Okay, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of approving $2,670 in funding for AS Grad Bash from unassigned contingency, please raise your hand. Thank you so much. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, now we will move on to exiting committee of the whole. Is there a motion? Senator Tybee?
I move to exit committee of the whole.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Sarkeesian, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Beautiful. We'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of approving committee of the whole, exiting committee of the whole, please raise your hand. The motion passes unanimously. All right, now we will approve the recommendations of committee of the whole. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of approving the recommendations of the committee of the whole, please raise your hand. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. All of that business is passed, approved. Thank you for your efforts on that. I much appreciate it, as does Paige, as she's watching on the Zoom. We don't have any new business, so we'll move past that. No information items, no discussion items. Give us 1 moment, please. Okay, now we'll move on to legislative referrals, and we do have quite a bit, so bear with me. Starting with the first one, submitted by Senator Olgan, thank you. It is titled University Shuttle. The request is as follows. As grad students taking classes late evenings, the University Shuttle is only available Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and Friday until 4 p.m. This is not convenient and not accessible for many grad students. Most classes end at 9:45, and students who do not have access to transportation have to walk to the University Village apartments or dorms late at night, and this is not safe. Therefore, I suggest to change the CSUN shuttle hours to the same as the CSUN library hours and make it available for the weekends as well, because many students live in CSUN housing. Thank you so much for this request or this legislative referral. It was suggested to go to University Affairs, and that's where it will go. The second request, or I keep saying request, legislative referral is also submitted by Senator Olgan, and it's titled Remove the Deadline for Medicare Emergency Grant Application. The request is as follows. Emergencies are unpredictable, and imposing a deadline may hinder access to crucial financial assistance when students need it most. By eliminating the deadline, we can ensure equitable support for all students facing unforeseen crises, fostering a more inclusive and supportive academic environment. This was suggested to go to University Affairs, and that's where it will go. The next legislative referral is also submitted by Senator Olgan. It is titled Dedicated Grant / Scholarship Support for Graduate Students. The request says, I'm writing to advocate for dedicated financial support in the form of grants or scholarships tailored to the unique circumstances of graduate students. Unlike undergraduates, many graduate students face challenges such as supporting dependents, limited university aid, and ineligible for programs for traditional financial aid like FAFSA, EOP, etc. By establishing targeted support, we can ensure equitable access to resources vital for the academic success of graduate students. This was suggested to go to internal affairs, but I believe it will go to external. Our next legislative referral was submitted by Senator Scher, and it is titled Vending Machines in Maple Hall. The request is as follows. I've had various lower division students request that they have a class in Maple Hall and that vending machines be installed in the building so they can get snacks during their breaks. This was suggested to University Affairs, but it will go to External Affairs. Our next legislative referral was submitted by Senator Toledo Carranza, and it is titled First Generation Event. The request is as follows. To add a line or more in the responsibilities/duties in the Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Code, in the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee Code, where it explains that the First Generation Event will happen every November 8th of every year, which purpose is to be a campus-wide event at the university lawn. This was suggested to internal and university, and it will go to Internal Affairs. Our last legislative referral was submitted by Senator Dunn, and it was titled Support for Divestment from War on Campus. The request is as follows. Recently, students have come to me asking for ways for divestment. Am I saying for divestment? On campus from the war in Palestine. I want to see how in University Affairs we can make their concerns heard and what actions can be taken through AS on campus. This was suggested to go to University Affairs, but it will go to External Affairs. Okay, those are all of our legislative referrals for today. Thank you, Attorney General. We'll now move on to announcements. Are there any announcements from the board? Senator Sarabia?
Okay, I come to the Senate meeting after taking our final dub for the season at the women's rugby game. I'm very happy we got to show up that private school, 42-29, but I actually wanted to make this announcement. Jennifer and I finally were approved to start advertising our College of Humanities Club Mixer, which is going to be an opportunity for clubs like the that are associated with majors, minors, programs that are offered in our college to be able to come and advertise, because Meet the Clubs is it's so big and people get so lost and it's so intimidating. Having an event that's kind of catered towards our college for students that are interested in maybe minoring or maybe getting more involved in the College of Humanities. I feel like this would be a really fun opportunity for them to be able to find these clubs. So far, we have four confirmed clubs that will be in attendance. If you guys have any clubs that you would love to see there or think that should be there, please let us know. We're more than happy to reach out to them. But that is it. It would be taking place next Wednesday, April 17, from 12 to 2 p.m. in Matador Square Lawn. That was it.
Woohoo, thank you. Yes, Senator Sarkeesian.
So I also want to announce that on April 26th, we're going to be hosting the Student Philosophy Conference. I've worked really, really hard to bring this event back to life for the philosophy department, and I will be giving the student keynote there. I would absolutely love if you guys would come in and support. It's going to be at the Furman Presentation Library, the Furman Presentation Room in the library, excuse me. And it will start at 8:30 a.m. and finish at 4:30 p.m. Personally, my keynote will be at 1 p.m. We do have catering from Panda Express and also a continental breakfast. If you guys want to come, there's some really interesting topics and some great faculty presenters as well, and also commentators. So I'd appreciate your support. It's on April 26th.
Woohoo. Also, you guys are welcome to send out any emails to the senators' email list if you want to share anything else about your event, any flyers or links. Are there any other announcements from the board? Dr. Ward?
Yes, I wanted to remind everyone that most academic departments are finalizing their part-time faculty pools. And that means that announcements have gone out to really bring in new voices. And the idea is that we have lots of part-timers, lecturers who have been with us for a really long time, some of them in the 3-year cycle called entitlements. So they are usually looked upon to be able to come back in. But I know that many of you all voice the concern, particularly with DEI, getting in more diverse folks, voices, faces, generations of faculty as well. So again, just remember to contact your faculty members, department chairs, all those wonderful deans and whatever that may be involved in that process, so that the faces, the voices, the perspectives that you want to hear will be there. Part-time faculty pool.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Are there any other announcements from the board? Yes.
So not sure if everyone was able to see the group chat that we have for the leadership. So if you guys are all able to vote on the poll that was sent out as soon as possible, it's supposed to end at 10:30 today. If you happen to miss that poll that's being taken, please feel free to visit me in the office to ensure you get your size. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief of Staff Ryan, for facilitating that. That is very exciting. Are there any other announcements from the board? If not, I have a few. I just want to say again that I sent out the elections info booth sign-up sheet. It would be wonderful if you could support the elections team. I will be out there throughout the week, but just a reminder, you can only participate in this if you are not running in the election. But we would really appreciate the support. Also, I wanted to say that Admitted Matador Day is this upcoming Saturday. I can send out an email. I think, did you send out an email, Denise? Denise sent out an email with some information on that. I can re-up it for you all so you have it fresh in your inbox, but I will be there, Paige will be there. And it will be really fun to see the possible new incoming Matadors. Yes. Oh, you guys will be there too? Perfect. And if you are available, you should all come. It can also count for office hours, so that's a plus. The other thing I want to say is that Executive Director Bailey let me know there is a solar eclipse viewing in the planetarium, which I believe starts around 11. So if you want to check that out, that's super fun. Yeah, that's it from me. Are there any other announcements from the board, Chief of Staff Ryan?
Sorry, I have so much to announce, but I will also be serving as an AI Jam judge for this year. So that's going to be an entirely online competition that's being taken place right now. Actually, there's already 23 submissions from student teams that have registered for the competition, and it's going to be fully taken online. So can't wait to look at how many awesome ideas that these students have been proposing to us, and I can't wait to also have more updates for next week on what the results are. So can't wait to hear that.
Very exciting. Is there anything else? Yes, Senator Saravia.
I just wanted to ask, for CISA Admit Day, Admit Day, are clubs and sports clubs allowed to come on campus and kind of like advertise their clubs and stuff like that? Just because it'll be such a fun day for students to or incoming freshmen to know, like, these are all the things that are offered or something like that. Is that an opportunity that clubs and sports clubs could seek out?
That's a really good point. I'll turn to University Advisor.
Yeah, so Alyssa was working with Antoinette the coordinator over in SOAR. And so I believe emails went out inviting clubs to participate in Admitted Matters Day already. So if your club didn't respond, you can check in with Alyssa to see if it's too late to sign up.
And if we don't sign up by accident, would we still be able to come on campus and advertise, or is that out of the question?
I'm not sure because they have a, you know, a set program in place. So you can have a conversation with Alyssa about it and then she can put you in touch with Annette to double check.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any other announcements from the board? Wonderful. We'll now move on to final roll call with the Attorney General.
Senator Bob Negri. Senator Chavez. Senator Doe. Senator Dunn. Senator Kaddish. Senator Iman Khan. Senator Awais Khan. Senator Mezabin. Senator Radionov. Senator Sarkeesian. Senator Saravia. Senator Scher. Senator Tybee. Senator Toledo Carranza. Senator Tran. Senator Olgun. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We have a lot going on this week, so check your emails, check the group me, and come to things. So I'll adjourn this meeting at 10:15. Thank you.